Hey, Tesla Duda here. Thanks for joining me, and welcome back if you're a subscriber. If you're brand new, welcome to the channel. I'm taking 11.3.6 for a test drive, a long test drive today, but I'm going to be speeding up a lot of the footage so you're not having to take the entire hour-plus round-trip journey with me. Lately, I've been feeling like the old Maytag repairman. Remember Jesse White in those commercials? The sad sack because nobody had to fix their Maytag washers and dryers or whatever. Yeah, I was feeling the same way because I've been stuck on 10.69.25.2 since January, and everyone else is having great fun with the new version 11 of FSD beta, and I've been on the sidelines just kind of slowly losing my mind. Anyway, this is an edge case. Leaving my neighborhood, have to take a sharp left and then wait for the gate, but beta V11 still doesn't get it. It just stalls out and in the middle of the street, and I have to manually take over and then wait for the gate to open. This is really an unusual situation because it has stopped for other gates, but for some reason, pulling out into the street and making that first left is just giving it fits, and I don't know why. It's not making the turn wide enough, for one thing, but it'll all get worked out. So turning onto my parkway here, I'm back into FSD and waiting to go. And this is a big success for me because I was always having problems with it going for the innermost lane, which really isn't a lane at all any longer. It used to be 2 lanes in each direction, but they changed it to 1 lane to quiet down the traffic. And now it's going exactly where it needs to go consistently. So that's great. See all these beautiful pine trees in the center median? They're all getting cut down. You can see how bumpy the road is? Well, that's why. So they're going to fix it and put in some barriers and whatever. Anyway, right here, we're also in the correct lane to continue going straight, which is where I'm programmed to go. The lane to my left is now a left turn only lane, and now I'm immediately cutting over in front of that car and ending up in the left lane in this spot, which is still 2 lanes, okay? Whoever did the design of this road is really screwy. I would have preferred to have waited maybe another 50 yards past the light before heading over to the left, just in case the guy in the left turn only lane decided, well, there's a straight lane ahead, and I don't want to go left anymore, I'm going to go straight. That certainly would have caused some sort of a collision avoidance situation, which I would have really preferred to avoid. So anyway, a little fine-tuning stuff, little minor gripe on my part. It is legal to change lanes in an intersection in California, I found out. And we're a little late getting into this turn lane for some reason, although the rest of them, have been great. So I'm giving it a because it really shouldn't have cut over the solid white line to get into this lane. It should have done it much sooner. And I think I probably will the next time I try it. I'm cutting out the stoplight so you don't have all that to contend with. We're coming up now on a right turn in about 3/4 of a mile. And all previous versions of FSD beta have always stayed in this lane until like the last 1/10 of a mile and then try to get over into the right turn lane, which isn't always easy because there's frequently cars there and it's just awkward and it really bugged me. But now this version, look, it's going to do the right thing and move over to that right lane well in anticipation of that upcoming right turn. And I love that. So giving a big thumbs up there. Very, very nice. The other thing, too, that I've noticed that's a big improvement is the way the car now biases towards the right side of the lane as it's approaching the turn. Before, it would also wait till the last second or last several feet, it seemed like, before it would actually start making a motion to turn right. And that was awkward. For anyone driving behind you, they wouldn't think you were making the turn, and then all of a sudden you're turning in front of them. So lots of big improvements. We're coming up on the turn right after this light, and I've got a green coming up, so we'll just sail right through it. And this version, I'm in the aggressive mode, or is it assertive? I forget what it's called. You use the thumb wheel on the steering wheel on the right side and can select chill, standard, or assertive or aggressive. I can't recall what it is, but in any event, I like this setting. It drives well, and there's a nice, safe following distance for cars in front of you, no matter what speed you're going, even in the aggressive mode or assertive mode. And I like that. I just adjusted the speed on the steering wheel because this is a very highly enforced speed limit area. It's near a casino, and there's usually motorcycle cops giving out tickets. I'm kind of going, because I'm sort of biasing towards the right side of this lane I'm in for some reason. Then it straightened itself back out. But yeah, whatever. It's not, really fine-tuning, minor gripe. Now, I'm going to be making a left-hand turn coming up, and if I'd been driving this manually, I would have already been in that left lane over there in anticipation of the upcoming left turn. And we still have some ways to go, but not that far, maybe 0.2 of a mile. And watch what the car does, though. Now, see, there's someone coming up on my left, and now I can't get over. And they're slow to go by, and they decide, well, maybe I'm not going to really pass. And so I'm wondering if I'm going to slow down to get in behind them. But no, they slow down, and I maintain speed. And then as soon as Beta sees that it has an opening, it's just going to take it and accelerate mildly as it does and puts me over in that middle lane. So that's really nice. I mean, that's like real driving there. Incredible. And I've got one more lane to get over, and here we go. And, just in time to make that left-hand turn coming up. So it wasn't, it wasn't a panic situation. It wasn't a last-second decision. The car is doing some really amazing things. And notice how it gets into the left turn lane in anticipation of making that turn before the left turn lane begins, which is awesome. Absolutely perfect. That's what we want to see. So I've heard a lot of people complaining about 11.4, and I'm not sure about 11.6, but I'm telling you, for me, it's fantastic. It really is. So I'm going to start speeding things up here in just a second, and so we can complete this journey a little bit faster, and I want you to enjoy the ride. There's some curving roads coming up very soon, and I still get the behavior where if I'm making a sharp turn in the curve, not making an actual turn onto a street, but a sharp turn on a curve, it will trigger the turn signal briefly, just for a second or two. And I've also noticed this version is very good at detecting people and letting me know. Now, there's like a little jump cut you just saw there. I don't know why that happened. I did not make that cut in the video, so for whatever reason, when I was recording it, it paused and resumed. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but trust me, please believe me, I did not make any sort of cut there at all. So here we are on this 2-lane highway. Beautiful drive. Everything's green after all the recent rains here in Southern California. And the floodwaters have receded, so that's nice. There was a stop sign coming up ahead. I will be pointing to the right to point it out. We used to have phantom braking here a few versions ago of FSD. There's that stop sign. It's actually from an adjacent street merging onto this one. It's their stop sign, not ours, but Beta always thought it was ours for a while and would slam on the brakes. That doesn't happen anymore. It hasn't happened for the last couple of versions that I have, and it's perfect. So now we're getting on the highway, and I'm adjusting my maximum speed. I like to go a little quick. I keep it under, well, I'm not going to say because, I don't want to get myself in trouble for breaking the law. But I like to go at a pretty good clip, as you can see here, and Beta is going to be making the lane change automatically right there, so I can continue at the pace I want to drive. And it's probably going to do it again because it sees the truck. Yeah. So here we go. And yeah, we're going to change it again. Wonderful. So now we're just cooking along. In assertive mode, I don't think it takes itself out of the passing lane. So eventually, as you'll see, I will move over a lane, and that's something I initiated. So that was my choice, and that's fine. There was no cars coming up behind me or anything. I just don't like parking in the fast lane, just as a matter of practice, good driving habits. So I moved back over to the passing lane to pass that other slow-moving Tesla, and I got a little bug splat on the windshield, so I'm washing that off for good measure. And I understand the automatic wipers are working much better with this version also. Haven't had any rain to test that since I had it. I've only gotten 11.3.6 in the last few days, and the weather's been pretty good. It's an overcast day. I like the even lighting; makes it nice for videos. Things are a little jiggly, and I do apologize for that. I neglected to turn on the automatic stabilization for the video, and that's much better to do while you're recording rather than in post-production. I tried image stabilization afterwards, and it just didn't work out. So, okay, and for whatever reason, I miscalculated the amount of storage I had on the SD card, and we missed a lot of action coming up after this point, and driving up to the doctor's office across the street from the hospital. Okay, here I am leaving the doctor's office now, and heading back into some city traffic, and I hit beta and to start, and here we go. And it's just doing fantastic. The stops are smooth and not jerky like they were in the past. Acceleration is quick. It's brisk. It's not too jumpy, but it's not timid either. And as you can see, it's just right there with the rest of the flow of traffic. And I think it's pretty darn terrific. Yeah, sorry again that the image is so shaky. The next one will be a lot better, a lot more stable. I also have to come up with a better camera mount. If anyone has a suggestion for a really stable camera mount that sticks on the glass on the ceiling, I'd sure appreciate it. And this is a very busy intersection, lots of traffic going on. And I need to move over to the right lane twice so I can get on the freeway up ahead. And I was wondering how it was going to do, because sometimes in the past it was a little unsure of itself. But this time it is absolutely, positively sure of itself. Look at it, following the guy in the Mercedes in front of me. Just, that's perfect placement. And yeah, thumbs up, yeah. And as soon as it's like, okay, so the light's green now. Now, here's something coming up I would not have done had I been driving manually. You'll see this guy with the bike trailer. He's wanting to move over, and I would have slowed down and let him in, because that's just the decent, courteous thing to do. But Beta said, nah, you have to fall in behind me, buddy. I'm where I'm supposed to be. You're not. So anyway, he got in behind me. Like I said, I would have let him in. So I'm checking my rear camera to make sure he's not getting out of his vehicle with a tire iron or something. And now we're cautiously approaching the on-ramp for the freeway, waiting for these left-turning cars. Left-turning cars from the opposite direction to clear. And as soon as the last one goes, immediately we're right there. So that's just terrific. Excellent stuff. Now, as soon as I merge onto the freeway, again, the car is doing everything. I am not initiating anything, no pedals, no steering. I occasionally will adjust the speed on the steering with the right scroll wheel, or the volume with the music on the left, which you probably can't see. And it just handles everything just beautifully. Very, very sure and steady and smooth, like never before. But again, a little more assertive than I've been used to with previous versions, so it was a little jarring to me on my first or second drive. I thought, wow, this thing's really got a mind of its own. So had something unusual happen with some vehicles here on the freeway. It felt like some guy wanted to cut in front of me. I had a pickup behind me and a pickup alongside, and again, I set my limit for the speed, but I'm passing up other cars, and I'm going to eventually move over to the right lane. But I'm keeping up with, I'm going as fast as you can in the passing lane, as you can see, between me and the car in front of me. We're maintaining distance. I'm actually closing in on him. So traffic is picking up a little bit, slowing things down a little bit. And I'm going to be heading toward, oh yeah, now we're really slowing down. And I am going to want to get out of this passing lane just because like I told you, I don't like staying in it for too long. Uh, I don't want to get stuck behind slow moving traffic either, but I don't want to stay in the fast lane any longer than I have to. And so here comes a guy on my right, a truck, and I was afraid he was going to just try to jump in front of me to get in the fast lane, but he didn't, to his credit. And he ends up going around and found another way. But I'm just glad that wasn't some sort of a weird road rage situation. It wasn't. Anyway, I moved over. He is in front of me. Everything's fine. There's peace on the Interstate 15 right now, which is great. Heading up towards another alternate exit to get to my house. Normally, I'd stay on the freeway much longer and go back on that windy 2-lane road that we started the video out with. And but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take another alternate route, which is even longer and windier than the first windy road. And it's got some really sharp curves. And I really wanted to put it to the test because the last time I drove that road, the car hit those bots dots. You know what those are, right? They're the little round dots that they put in the roadway along the lane markings. So if you hit it, you know you're not where you're supposed to be. They usually put them on double yellow lines and stuff like that. Anyway, I hit the bots dots a couple of times in the exact same spot and wanted to check it out and see if that was fixed with this version. And yes, it was. Unfortunately, there's another weird jump in the video, jump cut, and I don't know why that is, but so we missed that part, which is coming up. But I love these twisty, windy roads, especially in my Model 3 dual motor, because this thing just sticks to the ground like nobody's business and takes those corners just absolutely beautifully. So that part with the bots dots was coming up in like just a few hundred yards, but it's going to cut and we're going to be somewhere else. And there we go. Yeah. So I don't know exactly how much video is missing, but you can see that we're maintaining speed between us and the guy in front of us who's no doubt, pushing the limit. People tend to drive fast on these roads. Not this fast, of course, but maintaining a pretty good speed here. And I just love how this thing handles in the curves. It accelerates out of the curve, which is just classic good driving, And big applause to the developers and the engineers, everyone who's been working on this. Just absolutely fantastic. And I know stuff like this has to make Dan O'Dowd cry bitter tears because it's doing fantastic. As a little anecdote, I was driving to the drugstore at the market yesterday, and I'm going through the parking lot. I'm still in FSD beta. I set the destination for the drugstore, and it will literally drive me right in front of the drugstore. But all of a sudden, the car lurched to a halt, and I looked to the left, and I saw there was a lady who was wanting to cross the parking lot. So I waved her on, and she thanked me, and I thought, my goodness, I didn't even notice her there, but the car did, and it stopped for the pedestrian, which was really amazing and fantastic. On this drive, we've already missed it, but there were a couple of instances where a pedestrian was on the side of the road, and I actually got an audible alarm alert when we were coming up on one of them. And again, super impressive. The car saw it before, these people before I did, and just really impressive, incredible. Love this drive, love all the trees and foliage and scrub brush or whatever. And check out some of these curves. I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking not touching the wheel. I'm adjusting my speed down a little bit, I think, here, or maybe up for this particular portion of road, but you may see me fiddling with it as we come up on some of these curves to make a little fine-tuning adjustments on my maximum speed. But yeah, I mean, it just handles it amazing. And it stays in the lane. I'm not running into any of the bots dots on the double yellow line. And couldn't be more impressed. Really, really good. So, in summary, just to wrap it up, there are a few still edge case problems that need to be overcome for me personally. One of them is that my neighborhood was not mapped by Google Street Maps. I live in a gated community, and the gate was closed, and the Google Mobile, when it was doing its filming, couldn't get in. And you may think, well, that's kind of a good thing. And in some senses, it is. But the only problem is something with Tesla mapping absolutely does rely somewhat, at least in certain situations, on Google Street Maps. And if it can't see, where I live, I mean, it shows my house on the map, but for whatever reason, the Tesla mapping cannot find my home using FSD beta. I set home, and it wants to drive past my house, flip a U-turn, and then park on the adjacent parkway next to a white cement wall, which is as close as the Google mapping vehicle was able to get to my actual house. So it's a little frustrating. Now, I have 2 entrances into my neighborhood. 3, actually, but for this conversation, we'll only talk about 2. And we're going to be coming through a yellow light here at this next intersection, and it did great. I would have gone also. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thumbs up. Now, see, there's 2 entrances on this street to my neighborhood. We should be turning in this one right here, and we're not going to. We're going to go up to the next one and try to flip a U, and it's going to break it, and I have to take over and bring myself home. If I came from the opposite direction coming into this entrance, it works. So anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and we'll talk to you next time.